Right, with the marijuana, is the NRB data?
Yeah.
Per capita, are we number one then?
You know what, per capita we probably wouldn't
I'm
be.
just asking.
And we've dropped off a little, but it's here and my job as sheriff is to enforce laws. It's not to make laws.
I know.
So, I mean, it's what it is, but it's absolutely a gateway. And I mean, it absolutely has changed. You know, if we're down in Detroit dealing drugs and the market's saturated, and all of a sudden I see Babe Lincoln, they're using marijuana, you know, maybe if I go up there I can sell heroin or meth or get into that next level. That's the downside to it. I do believe there can be some medical things and it can be good for some stuff, sure. It's not my business. My business is to enforce it. It's legal right now, but it is causing problems. And I mean, meth is all over the place. It's cheaper than heroin to buy, and part of who's problematic with it are seniors because of healthcare. The expenses are so high. If they're getting oxycodone or oxycontins or some of those bigger drugs, those are all fentanyl-based things, and they're paying. They run off that same circuit. So it's horrid to say this, but some of our seniors will actually sell those pills. Some of those pills you can get $1 per milligram. So if you got a 40 milligram pill, it's worth $40 on the streets. Well, shoot, I can go buy fentanyl or heroin with this, a lot cheaper. And now it's meth, which is way less, and they're offsetting that stuff. Which leads us to my next point, your medicine credits. So a while ago, the Sheriff's Department is one of the areas. We have a big red mailbox in there, and it's locked. And you can open it up, and any of the drugs you have in your house that you don't use, you can bring down there, throw them in there, no questions asked. And then our evidence guy that handles all the evidence for the Sheriff's Department, our corporal, he's got a lock to that. He takes it out. It gets burned through the filter so it doesn't screw up our environment, and it is gone. What we don't want is flushing them. And more than that, well, no, that's equal to the next. Don't keep that stuff. People cut your grass, hopefully, or mow your lawn for you, shovel your driveway, your grandkids, somebody's over and they're helping you out or something. Neighbor kids. Anybody that's coming in your house that has a problem or an addiction is going to walk in that bathroom if they have an addiction, and they're going to check your medicine cupboards, or they're going to look. And I was bad. I had ACL surgery years ago, and I am allergic to Vicodin, and I had a bunch of Vicodin in my house. I had a couple bottles because they filled them when I had my surgery. Wasn't going to flush them. We didn't have a place to get rid of them. This wasn't out there where everybody's on this junk like it is today. But I had them. I couldn't tell you how many were in one of my bottles. I know I took 2 or 3 when I first came home from the hospital. It didn't work for me. I had problems with it. I didn't take it anymore. But I never used to walk in my bathroom and be like, still got 10 in there today. Good shape, put those back. You know, I didn't check it. And if somebody would have came over to my house, they could have taken a couple of those. And I'm enabling them. And we don't want to do that. You know, you don't want somebody to overdose. I don't want you to ever have to use this stuff. That's not the world we want to live in. But it's where we are right now. And those precautions, if you get that stuff and take it out, and I have no problem having a deputy come to your house if you have that stuff. If you can't drive or if you can't get down to the Sheriff's Department, call. And we will send one of our cars out to your house. I'm sure Colin, I'm sure the fire department would come out and grab that stuff from you if they could too. And we'll get it to Rite Aids, they're gone. Walgreens we still have. There's a few pharmacies that also have take-back programs. But the Sheriff's Department's got that all the time, and you can drop stuff off. I got a blast on my dad for a minute because I was at his house over the holidays, and my mom and him had a bunch of pills, and he's like, "Can you get rid of these for me? You want me to sell them?" Oh, no, I was like, "Yeah, I can get rid of them." And he's like, "Should I take my name off all the pill bottles?" I'm like, "I know you, Dad." I'm like, I know where I got them from. I know it's you. And he said, "Well, no, I just didn't know where they go to." And I thought, that makes sense. So if you're uncomfortable, I will tell you right now, we don't look at them, they don't go. It is this. I'm so impressed with the amount you guys are giving back. I mean, there's a cart we take when we clear that out, and that is a lot of drugs we're taking in off the street that aren't ending up where they shouldn't be or in our water. But if you do have prescription bottles, If you don't want to peel labels, dump them all in a Ziploc bag. Seal that. Now you can drop that off at the sheriff's department. I would get another Ziploc bag. Throw all those empty pill containers in. Leave those two things together if you're driving to the sheriff's department to get rid of your pills. If by chance you have a headlight out, a tail light out, or you may be speeding and get pulled over, what I don't want to have is you with a huge bag of a potpourri of different pills and be like, I'm not going to be down to the sheriff's department to get rid of them. They'll be like, yeah, we've heard it before, you know, come with us. So keep them together, get rid of your pills, and then after that, whatever you want to do with those bottles. But I promise you, when you throw them in there, that thing is locked. Nobody get it. It was the same guy that's got it, and we can get rid of those pills for you. Make sense? Okay. And I usually show you that. The other thing with the pills and the drugs, and then I do want to get on to the next stuff. What's going on with China and Mexico? A lot less right now. I mean, people are scared to get on a boat right now. Drugs coming in. The stuff that was happening in China, and I've seen a lot of stuff through my career, was something that really bothered me is a while ago. We have a female deputy who's a damn pit bull. She is awesome. I mean, she is not afraid. She has not looked in a mirror before because she doesn't care. There's 3-4 big men in the car. She will stop it, search it, and get stuff. And she, a little while ago, got into a traffic stop. Somebody took off running with a backpack on. She went over a fence, ended up with 9 stitches in her thigh, still caught the guy. He had 3,000 fentanyl pills in that backpack. That's 3,000 dead Bay County residents. The part that really, really, really scared me is they were stamped. So China is going to Mexico with this stuff, before into the U.S. with it, is what this batch was, and they're stamping them. By stamping them, all of you are aware, if you look at a pill, you can identify it by shape, by color, and there's a number on it. These all looked exactly like they should, but were fentanyl. So you thought you had a Xanax, and you check it, and it tells you it's a Xanax, and it tells you it's 3 milligrams. It was pure fentanyl. It's a counterfeit drug, and that's what these kids are putting, that's what these countries, that's what's getting sent in. So in our time, we just said, so you can't trust a drug dealer. Go figure. Today, though, you don't know. And you know, like with Adderall and some of those Xanax and that stuff, our kids that go to colleges and stuff, they're getting that in an exam and they take Adderall to stay awake. Well, if I go and I buy it from her, you know, probably shouldn't trust a drug dealer, so I'll pill ID it, use my phone and take a picture. Yep, sure enough, says it's Adderall. It says it's right. If I swallow that, that would kill me. So my point to that when I left is, I'm like, man, if it is not prescribed to you, don't mess with it today, because they are getting so good with counterfeit meds. So just that was something I wanted to make sure I said. And we usually, with pill capsules, you can undo that. You can fill that with fentanyl and put it in. If it is not yours, this group gets that, but just you don't want to take it because you don't know anymore what you're getting. So, for what that's worth. Let's see. My other one, just done. Neighborhood watch stuff, and I'll hit some of that again. But then going forward, yep. Huh? Oh, so. If you a lot of people still write checks, and something a lot of people aren't aware of, if you've not heard of check washing, if you go on Amazon, you stop at any store pretty much, you can buy acetone. It's cheap, you can get it easy. So think again now you have to be bad people, but if we get in a car and go driving around tonight, most people put their check, their mail in the mailbox when they get their mail. So today if I go out, get my stuff out of the mailbox, I got some bills I got to pay, you put them in, you put the flag up. If any of us jump in the car together and we're bad guys and we're cruising through a neighborhood and we see a flag up, we know there's something in it. I mean, you know about porch pirates, but you see that. So I go and I grab her mailbox, and it's nighttime, and I now have her consumer's check. Consumer's Energy, $90, I'll do $30. and her signature's on the bottom of it, I got her check. If I take acetone, I can take off Consumers Energy very easily. I can take off $30 very easy, and I'll leave her signature alone. And now I can write Troy Cunningham. I'll change the 30 to $3,000. I write it in, and I have her signature, her routing information, her check, and everything, and that's gone. She doesn't know tomorrow. She just put that check in the mail. And now a week or whatever, or a month goes by, and now finally Consumers is calling her saying, hey, you're getting a shut-off notice, or you didn't pay. Yes, I did. And if you're not checking your account all the time, she doesn't know I stole $3,000 from her in the middle of the night while she was sleeping, and she has no idea about it. So, how do we fix this? Fix this over here. Gel ink pens. These GO2, GO7 gel pens. You can get them everywhere. I'm going to give you one today. But if you write checks, they'll keep this with your checkbook and use it. You can't take that away with the acetone. But if you think about that, if you're writing it with a ballpoint pen, if you become one of these people driving around, if I was a scammer, that's where I'd be hitting you. It's a lot easier because there's still a lot of people mailing checks and I can get those. Calling you on the phone and trying to sucker you out of money is a lot harder. So don't write checks if you're not using this, or any of your signatures you put down. Anything you're signing in ballpoint, these are cheap, these are easy to get, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. But these are great to have. Does that make sense? Easy?
We take ours and then directly to the post office and mail it there. We don't mail it from our house.
And that's a great idea too. But a lot of people, they're not driving if you're not going down that
Or we
way.
actually handle to talk to our mail lady.
Yeah, yeah. Those are great ideas, you know, if you wait till the mail's there, if you're home, or if you got that option. But if not, if you're writing them with this and put it in your mailbox, at least they can't scam it or change it on you.
I know the one on the west side actually has a drive up.
Yeah,
So
that's
does the
where I
one
go
on
a
the
lot.
east side.
I do that same thing. I drive through and do it. But if you think about that, it's sad you get preyed on because you're putting up that flag and it's indicating that you have mail. And I mean, they can drive through a neighborhood and how many checks could you get in a night? And you don't know it for how long. So that now, and I want to, that fraud will be our last thing. The next thing we're going to just do, and then we'll be getting there. These are up here. So what's up here for you is pretty much that's gone, that's gone. Put these down here. Anything on here, if you want, you can grab. Leave my water, please. But these are just home check sheets, and I used to think insulting almost when I first started looking at these. Like, how dumb do you think I am? Every time I look at this, you pick up something else. You know, whether it's our social media thing where you're in Florida and I'm getting a selfie and chink, we're sending this out, you know, hey, having a blast in Florida. I just told the world I'm in Florida and nobody's at my house. And you've heard that since we were little, but go on Facebook because there's people still doing it. You know, I mean, I'll see deputies doing it. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, you're on vacation and you're taking pictures and you wait till you get home to post that stuff. And I'll talk about Facebook again too. But this is just ways to like secure your home. Things to do inside your own house. And it is, when you look through this, it's amazing because like neighborhood watch, lights. My house, my neighbors, I kind of know, and we've actually talked before. That is the first thing I do in the morning, well, second thing I do in the morning. But when I'm walking down to go get a coffee or whatever, when I walk by my outside lights, I shut them off. And every night before I go to bed, I turn them on. With LED bulbs, it is so cheap to run lights. You're lighting up the outside of your house, you're leaving them on. But the other thing you're doing is I'm letting my neighbors know. You know, I mean, we were kind of joking about that, but they'll say, man, you get up early. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I work early. Like, yeah, we can tell. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, why do you think that? My trucker? Like, no, we can just tell. He's been up before and he sees my lights go off. And he's like, I know somebody's shutting those off. He goes, or do you have them on a timer? I said, no, that's me. And so it's different times. But there's something with Neighborhood Watch to queue. If you're living alone or if your neighbors are, I know like, it was okay last night. You turn those on, they turn them off. And it's cheap to run LED bulbs. It's safer, except for one study I've seen. I've never in my life. There's one moron out there in the world on the internet that has said, you're better off to leave it dark. And I thought, what in the heck? And his point was, they don't know where your door is or where to break into. When you illuminate it, you're showing them. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no way. You are much better out to have lights on so people can see, and you know if somebody's coming in to break into your house or around there or walking around. Gee, leave your lights on. But there's stuff in here like deadbolts. Out of everything that's out there with the security and stuff, that's the number one thing I would say is if you put deadbolts on your door, tell me when I'm wrong. But on the doors we've kicked in our lives, if somebody's got a deadbolt, it's hard to make entry. It is a lot harder than if you just have a regular locking door, and you can pound those open pretty easy. So deadbolts are a good idea. A safe room inside your house is a good idea. You know, having a lock on another door in your house. The only thing I will say is don't make that your bathroom. Because a lot of medical things that when they happen, people go into their bathroom. And, you know, it's better if EMS and fire can get in there by not barricading that door so much. But other doors in your house, if you got a solid door somewhere you can feel safe. My niece had that, and she had a guy she had met online who was an idiot. And he started like stalking her and messing around and stuff, and he was showing up at her house. And she had a doorbell, and she could see it was him from inside the house. But he would walk down. She had like it was a long area to get in the front door, not long, but it was in there. And he would come in, ring the doorbell, and he was stepping back out around the outside, waiting for her to open that so he could come in. And she saw him on the camera, so she actually just went downstairs, and she had that in her basement, a room her and her son went in, and they just locked the door. They called 911, and they stayed on the phone with 911. And I didn't say that earlier, but everything with 911 is recorded. 911 can hear you when that phone is ringing. So by talking and leaving that, you have something great there. If you have to go to court or something else happens or someone breaks in your house, and for the EMS that's responding to that scene, we can hear if things are getting amped up. And it's like, you know, hey, somebody's banging on my front door. If you stay on with 911, you're talking, you know, all of a sudden we can hear if they reach that front door, if they get in. And I mean, now the guys, they'll leave the donut shop and start, no, they've already been around. But they'll get to you quicker. So just be aware of that. Like, keeping 911 on the phone is a big deal, too, to have.
We have one of those fake ones.
Cameras?
Cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have done, oh, I was there, you probably saw me, but it was just a fake one.
Fake ones are great. Real ones are even better.
Yeah.
Today, as cheap as cameras are,
Yeah.
and I am not a computer guy. I don't like anything to do with that stuff. I have Arlo's at my house, and I was shocked that just if you have internet and Wi-Fi, I plugged that hub in that it comes with, and you just hold your camera in front of it. When you push a button, it turns blue. And I have no cords to that. And for 6 months, that camera head's charged, and I can set them anywhere I want to. I mean, I put one downstairs sometimes because I can see, like, if my sump pump, you know, if it flooded or something, you're going on vacation, I got a camera on that. I have one in my garage. I'm not always, when I leave my house, sure I shut my garage door. I can't tell you how many times I've left and I start driving to work, I'm going, shit. And you turn around and you drive back, and I'm like, yep.
Or you
It's
call
muscle
a
memory.
neighbor.
Huh?
Or you call a neighbor and say, can you look out?
Yeah, is my garage door shut? But I got one of those cameras, I put it in my garage on the workbench, because I have a side entry door. It's covering that, it covers my garage door, and I can just on my phone when I'm not driving, look, and I can see, like, nope, dark in my garage door shut. I don't have to go back all the time. I'm a very smart sheriff, you have. You get it. I bought these Arlo's, and because I'm so smart, I thought, I'm not going to let the bad guys grab them. So I put them on my windowsill, inside my house, pointing out. And then when I took them back, and I said, what's the better ones than these? Because I want them. And the guy's like, what's wrong with these? I said, the night vision sucks. And he's like, huh? I said, yeah, they don't work. They work great in the daytime. He goes, I have never had anybody return these for that. I'm like, probably just have a higher standard. And he's like, where do you have them? And I'm like, I set them on my windowsill so, you know, somebody couldn't take them. I didn't want them on the outside of my house. He's like, they won't go through glass at night. And I'm like, oh, these ones. Yeah, oh no, that was, you know, I'm like, shit, I'm an idiot. But that's what it was, is I had them inside. And I thought, really though, when you have them outside, like those Arlos are, if somebody walks up on them anyways, they can't get them, and if they do, you've got them on camera. It goes to your phone or it goes to your computer.